Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first officer from the flight deck. Today we'll be going to Singapore. It will take us 3,000 kilometers and covering a total time of 4 hours and 10 minutes. Thank you for flying with us. Please sit back, relax and enjoy your flight. Hi, my name is Aruna. I'm a pilot. I work as a senior first officer in a reputed airline in India, based out of Bangalore. I was born in a Hindu Brahmin family in a small town called Joda. It's near Jamshedpur. When I was 10 years old, on one Sunday calm morning, the loud noise of a helicopter descended, and from there arose my dream to be a pilot out of the dusk, literally. Whenever an airplane would fly over my house, guess what I would do? I would run out to watch it. It was mere joy. From that day, I decided I want to be a pilot. I didn't have enough resources, neither anybody to help me. After finishing my 12th standard, I went to do engineering in a college in Hyderabad. When the seniors found out that I want to be a pilot, I became the joke of the college. They would send people to call the pilot just to rag and make fun. But that didn't deter me. Even though it was intended to put me to shame, I felt it's a matter of great pride that they're calling me a pilot. I didn't have enough resources and I thought, let me join the Air Force. But to my utter disappointment, I had already crossed the age to apply. Unsure about my future, I came to Bangalore and joined a call center and worked there for 8 months. Then I got a job in IBM, where a dear friend of mine, Sophie, told me about Jesus. Though I liked the idea of having a relationship with the living God, I was very cautious. With my guard up, I attended a Christian retreat one weekend. To my surprise, I loved it, and I kept on attending week after week. One Sunday morning, they spoke about Jeremiah 29:11. That was the turning point of my life. The scripture says, "For I have plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future." I took a leap of faith and I quit IBM. And I decided once again to pursue my dream to be a pilot. I met many people who helped me and guided me towards my goal. But as I started depending on them, they would stop helping me. Then I realized it is better to trust in the Lord than to trust people. And God has been faithful. He helped me with a good flying school in Houston, Texas, with all my provisions taken care of. Many weeks later, I flew to the US. As crazy as it sounds, being fascinated with aircrafts all through my life, this is the first time I ever boarded an airplane. A week later, I started my flying on a Cessna 152, a beginner aircraft for all the flyers. Every aircraft which takes off has to land. And I would close my eyes every time before landing. This happened over and over again. The academy had to write a report on my file saying too afraid to fly. I was very disappointed with my own performance and also worried as I was wasting all my tuition money on these futile flying hours. Fear started to creep in. And then the Lord reminded me of His scripture, which says, "I have not given you a spirit of fear or timidity, but power, love, and a sound mind." The next day, the dean approached me and inquired me of my shortcomings. He said, "Why don't you change your instructor and fly?" The next flight, I flew with a new instructor, and he said, "I'm fit to fly and land on my own." And lo and behold, I was able to land the aircraft on my own, and that was a big success for me. I returned to India with a commercial license, single and multi-engine rating. I was confident that I have a license, I can get a job, I'm qualified for it, and above all, God is by my side. Who can stop me? But things don't go as planned. At that time, none of the airlines was hiring and the aviation market was completely shut. As I could not wait any longer, I had to pick up odd jobs to pay off my loan, which I had taken during flying. During that time, God taught me that He is not my ATM machine, that I ask and He gives it in my time. I had to learn to wait for His perfect timing because He is always an on-time God. He taught me what worship is all about. He taught me that I need to worship Him for who He is in my life, not what He can do or what He has already done in my life. As 5 years passed by, I was already approaching the age where I would not be eligible anymore to apply for the airlines. Suddenly, a friend of mine called. She said, a reputed airline is going to induct pilots in the near future. Why don't you apply and start preparing? I thought to myself, yes, I should start preparing. And I applied for that exam, which happened 9 months later. And with the help of God's wisdom, I was able to clear the exam among the top 10. And soon, I was given an appointment letter to join as a junior first officer in the reputed airline. I would just like to think this and thank God, for He who has begun a good work is faithful to complete it. After my training, I got placed in Bangalore. I fly the domestic and the international sectors all across the globe. In Bangalore, God gave me a spiritual home, that is Bethel AG Church, Hebbal. Under the leadership of Pastor Johnson, I have learned to be a leader and to be excellent in all that I do. And in a short span of time, God promoted me from a junior first officer to a senior first officer. I also learned it is not enough to come week after week on a Sunday to warm the chair. You should be able to serve the Lord. I chose to be a volunteer in the cleaning team of the church. It teaches me to be humble. It gives me immense joy to serve the Lord in and through the church. The aviation industry is very demanding. The world says you need to be tall, rich, and have a lot of connections to get a recommendation to find a job. I had none of these. I had only Jesus. He gave me a dream and He was faithful to fulfill it. For with God, nothing is impossible. So don't give up. I dare you to dream today, for dreams come true through Jesus.